Hello everyone and welcome to another day on Cornwall Pocket Farm, where I try and figure out how to live sustainably on 300 square metres in the city. Today we're going to be in the garden because the sun's out. Can you see it? I've been doing quite a lot of tidying up in the garden recently, so it's looking quite different, and I probably need to do a bit of a tour soon actually, just to catch you up on where we are in the garden. But today I've got a few jobs to do, so I'll put this list here, which I'll insert after I've done them so I know what they are. Let's get out in the garden and we'll crack on. What I've got to do here is this plant is a bay tree. It provides the bay leaves that we use in the kitchen, and I noticed that it had a whole bunch of scale little insects, and it was being farmed, and it is again, by ants. So I took the tree, took it all out of the soil, repotted it, and the little plants that were around the outside, I tried to repot those as well. They were these little violas. I bought some new ones just to replace them, but some little white violas, and they looked really pretty here. But when I replanted them, they didn't survive, which I thought they might not. So I've put the plant back here. The ants are busy trying to farm it again, but I have heard that if you put cinnamon around the plant, they don't like it. So my plan is to try, I'm going to replant these plants here. I'm going to just go over it again for scale, and then I'm going to put some cinnamon around the base and see if I can stop these ants farming the scale on this plant. So my daughter actually spent quite a long time getting the scale off this plant, and we just used an old toothbrush. So I'm just going to go over it again and see if I can get off any more of the scale, and then I'm going to try this cinnamon to see if I can stop these blasted ants farming the scale on it. Because it's looking the leaves are going a little bit yellow, and it's not happy. And it was thriving, it was going absolutely mad, which was good, but now it's not working so well. So anyway, let's see if I can take some more scale off it, and then we'll try the cinnamon. I think it helps to have fingernails as well, because some of them you can get off with your fingernails. I also gave it a really good chop off at the top, and then put these bay leaves in to dry in the kitchen, so that I didn't have as much to descale. That'll do. I've got one more which I'll find a home for in one of my other pots, and water that in and then put cinnamon on it. Hopefully that will do the job. Okay, the next job is I have those potatoes that I've chitted, the swift ones, the first earlies. They have actually got quite strong. Well, a few of them have quite strong little buds, little chits on the potatoes. So what I'm going to do is just plant up the first 2 buckets of those. I'll get them in the buckets because I have some various ingredients, shall we say. The other thing I'm going to do is I have some wood ash out of our fire, and that's great for potassium. Anything that's fruiting and it has like tubers like potatoes, potassium is good for that. So I shall put a sprinkling of that in there too. Set off my potatoes and then see where we get to. So this in this pot is container mix. I thought it was container mix all the way down, but it looks like that was just on the surface, and what I've got under here looks very much like homemade compost out of the chicken coop, so that's good. then I have some material from the worm farm, and I know it's the worm farm because we've got lots and lots of these would be pumpkin seedlings all starting off. So yeah, the thing with the worm farm is you do get quite a few seedlings, but you know, that's okay. It's all good organic matter. Just move it in and it'll work. I just pull them out if they happen when the potatoes are growing. Okay, now I'm going to put the potatoes in. I've got 5 potatoes that look like they're ready to go, so I'll put 3 in one. These are 30-litre tubs. I got them when we first moved in. I bought them to put the trees in because we bought bare root trees before I actually could get them in the ground. But by the time we'd moved in, and it would have been too late to get the bare root trees in, so I bought them, put them in these pots, and then transplanted them into the garden when they were, you know, later in the season, because then they weren't bare root, they were potted. And these are from Bunnings, I think, and they're recycled plastic. And when I bought them, they were like $9.95 each. So 30-litre pots. They do have 50-litre ones as well, but I couldn't really move around a 50-litre pot, and I find the 30 ones do really well for me. So I've splurged this time, and I do actually have bought seed potatoes. Quite often what I put in here is just sort of anything that's sprouted or, you know, that type of thing. But these are proper seed potatoes, so hopefully for good crop. So I've got, I don't know if you can see, but I've got, I'll come closer. So I don't know if you can see, hopefully that'll focus, but I've got quite good chits on there, so they're ready to go in. 3, and then I'll put these 2 in here. Right. Okay, then what should we put on next? I think we'll cover them over with a little bit more compost. Okay, and I keep the potassium just in this old paint bucket, of course, like everything else. These are great containers, these old large resin buckets, because they're really airtight. So I just keep this outside. There we go. Then I just put a little sprinkle. And last I have just the material that's come out of the chicken poo bins, their bedding, and it's quite, this is quite crumbly, but I think quite rich. Although the wood shavings will neutralise the chicken poo, which is why that's why I use the wood shavings, is because it really neutralises it and makes it into good compost. Okay, so I shall just leave those now. I won't even water them in, to be honest. I'll just leave them. It's raining a lot at the moment, so they'll get watered in. I'll just leave them over here and let them do their thing. And then in a little while I'll set up another couple of buckets, and I like to sort of try and do them a bit in succession so that these will be ready first, and then I can get a continuous supply of potatoes. Obviously what will happen, I've only just basically put the potatoes in. I sort of filled them up to, oh, I don't know, just a couple of inches of material in the bottom, and then I put the potatoes in, and now I've filled it up to maybe, oh, it's sort of under half it full now, just covering those potatoes. So I shall leave them like this, and when they start to come through, I can see the leaves poking through, I will then start to mound them up with other bits of material here, or potentially that dry compost from the grass clippings. So that's the plan. Well, very exciting news. We've just harvested our first bananas. I've just rigged up that bar because apparently two of them had gone yellow and been eaten. And so apparently when that happens, you need to bring it in and put it somewhere protected. They will ripen slowly, sort of a hand at a time, if you like, or a banana at a time. So I've just taken the next ripe banana. This is the husband's piece. I've already eaten mine and it was absolutely delicious. But he's just on a call at the moment, so I can't go and give it to him. So it's sitting there, and if he doesn't eat it soon, I'll eat it. It's yum. It was just there, the hand that I've taken off. That was the first one that we had with the flower, and the first one we had bananas on. We have another hand over there. I don't think that's as mature, but I will just give it a really good check to make sure nothing else is eating it. But I will keep an eye on that, because obviously I thought they weren't going to ripen until spring, but obviously I'm wrong. I don't know anything about bananas, so they're ripening now, which is great. That does mean I will be able to take down that old stalk. I don't know if they're called stalk. Yes, perhaps a stalk. So basically when the banana stalk that's got the banana on it has the bananas, after that it won't do anything more, so you chop it out. And I've already got a couple of new pups ready to come in and go through there. In fact, it really needs to be sorted out. It's just growing so vigorously at the moment. So this is a great opportunity to get in there and clear out this side at least. So that's my next job. One of the things I do know about bananas is that the sap stains a lot. So all over here I've got stains where I've cut off leaves on the bananas. So you need to do it in really old clothes, I've learned. I've just discovered another bunch of bananas on that third original spike, the stalk, whatever it was, that we had. So there's the one I've just harvested, there's the one that you can see just there, which I think is nearly ripe, and then there's another one on the back stalk as well, which is sort of hanging over the fence a little bit, so a bit awkward to get to. But yeah, I've got to keep an eye on both of those bunches. I've tried to clear it in the middle a little bit so I can see that. And I've also tried to identify the 3 that I want to grow on, because honestly it's got so out of control. There must have been, oh heavens, 12 in there rather than the 3 they're supposed to be. So hopefully that's rationalised it a little bit more, and when these bananas are ready to come in, then I can take those stalks down as well, and we should be set again for next year. I'm presuming they do this every year. We don't know. We will see. Okay, so I hope you can see what I'm doing now. I'm actually in the blackberries, and what I need to do here is the blackberries are pretty much finished now, and I'm going to take out the canes this year that fruited, because they won't fruit again, and there'll be new canes in here that haven't fruited, which will fruit next year. So that's the next job, is to just snip them out low down at the base, and then train in the other ones along this wire structure. I'll chop up the ones that have already fruited into the bucket. They can go in the chicken coop. When I do the raspberries on the other side, these are thornless. These are not thornless, so these ones will have to go into the banana bed compost, because I don't want the spikes getting into the chicken's feet or anything like that. I need to tighten these wires as well. By the look of things, they're pretty slack. I have amazing plans to make a fruit cage down here, but it's not happened just yet, as these things don't. Right, these are all having fruited. They do have some unripe fruit on them, but nothing really that is worth waiting for, really. not fruited. This one fruited. This one that I've just picked up, this one actually touched the ground and I didn't see it and hadn't tied it up, and it had actually gone into the ground and rooted. So I could have had another one of these plants, but I don't need any more of these plants, so that's fine. But yeah, it had rooted. I will loosely tie these in now, and then I can do this work over the winter. Now I've cleared it out, and get it working right. Okay, so on this one, the trick is to work out, well, these are autumn fruiting raspberries. Generally, you cut them all down at the ground. Just cut them off, and then in the spring and summer they grow, and then they fruit in the autumn. If I leave the stalks that fruited this autumn and I leave them here, they actually will grow new shoots and fruit in the summer, earlier in the year. So I've sort of got autumn fruiting raspberry, they're raspberry aspiring, but I treat them like summer fruiting raspberries, if that makes sense. And it seems to work, so that's what I'm doing. So for instance, on this one, you probably can't see, but one of them is really brown and crispy, and that was the one I left last year. This green one, which you can see has the fruit buds on it already, they're sort of finishing fruit buds. This is the one that grew this year, and I'm going to leave this one. I'll just tidy that bit up. I'm going to leave this one, but I'm going to take out the one that I left last year. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, it looks a bit unsightly, but these ones now will shoot. There's little shoots here already. These will shoot next year and provide early raspberries. I could just tidy them up, but they'll be fine as they are. So yeah, I'm not sure you're supposed to do this, but I accidentally did it one year and it was much more successful. So now I'm doing it every year. Time for a tangerine break. Fresh off the tree. It's always lovely to just pick something off the tree and then eat it in the garden. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's so nice because we've had a lot of rain recently. A lot. Heaps of rain. Oh, there's something very nice about picking a tangerine off your own tree and eating it. This tangerine tree was here when we moved in. It was tucked right round the back by the carport, and it was all crammed in with something else and looking very sad. And I just sort of rehomed it, and it seems to have really taken off, and now it has lots of tangerines on it, which is great. A couple of wonderful things about New Zealand. Even in the middle of winter, when the sun comes out, it's warm and lovely. The other thing is that you can grow tangerines. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, I suppose I better get on. More to do. Got a big harvest of rhubarb. It's growing away like great guns. It seems to really like the colder weather. So yeah, nice harvest of rhubarb. I will cook this up, stew it down, and then I do my pucks that I put in my freezer. I did a video about that, I'll link it. Yeah, so that'll be straight for the kitchen. so next I'm going to sow some seeds, just get some new ones going in the conservatory. There's a lot of noise, hopefully you can hear me over all this. There's obviously something going on at the neighbours. I've got a couple of different types of lettuce to sow, just to take a succession on from the lettuce I've got going at the moment. Then I want to put in some spinach. I've got a couple of flowers, lupins and poppies. These poppies, the seeds in here seem quite large, so I'm going to try doing it in a seed tray because that would be easier. And then I've just got some mustard and some coriander. So yeah, that's the next job, is to sow all these and then give them a really good water and pop them in the conservatory. Okay, so they're in now, just in the conservatory. Lettuce, spinach, some flowers, coriander and some mustard, I believe. It's getting quite cold now because the sun's going down, so definitely time to come in. The chickens are hard at work on the pile over there. I won't show a close-up because they're molting dreadfully and they look a fright. Anyway, I'll see you next time.